What's up, folks? We're just trying to get used to all the new Zoom stuff. But we are back. It's the Mixed Reacts crew, Ian, Casey, and Justin. We were just kind of wrapping up our NBA playoffs. I know Casey said he wanted to talk a little bit about the NFL boys before we do go on to what has been pretty eventful of an offseason in the NFL. You guys have any final takes on basketball before we move on?
It's just one of those things where it's been nice seeing it, and we'll see how it goes next year.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's been a fun ride being a Celtics fan these past few years. I mean, obviously losing to the Heat last 2 years ago, but winning the finals this past season, season before this one, and then of course just the sheer dominance that they've had as an organization just over the last 4 or 5 years has been really fun to see. I mean, nothing really short of Eastern Conference Finals for the Celtics over this past 4 or 5 years, and unless they shape up, that's bound to come to an end. All good things come to an end, so I'm ready for something new. Who knows what the future holds for this team? We'll see what happens.
Oh man, but what about George Pickens? I looked at I was talking with a customer and I was helping him with some, and then I'm letting you know his training. So I was like, oh wow, George Pickens just got. He went to the Cowboys. He's like, nah, what was included? He didn't even let me help him with his shit until he told me what was what's going on with the trade, man. Big trade. What were your? I thought I was being fucked with when I saw that, man. What were your feelings?
I loved this trade. I love it on paper. We need to see how it unfolds on the football field. But I love this trade on paper, guys, and it makes Dallas's draft make that much more sense. And if you guys remember, I told you they were in the works to trade for a star receiver. You guys might as well just call me the wizard at this shit because I told you DK was gone before it happened. I told you Dallas was in the trade market for a big time receiver before it happened. This is what is going to happen this season for Dallas now, right? There is rumors again that they are on the market for a running back.
Hmm.
Guys, I think I know who that running back is going to be.
Shoot.
Ramondre?
Brees Hall.
Mm.
Hmm. What would they give up to
I
the
think
to the Jets for him?
I think it would be probably a second in next year's draft and probably a fourth or a fifth in the year after. I think they're going
It's a
after
good
Brees
fit.
Hall.
I mean, it makes
And
sense because they're still the Jets are in a bit of a rebuild because no one in their right mind is going to tell me that Justin Fields is going to be the face of the franchise for the long term. There's just no way.
oh, of course not. And think about it like this too. Like I said, this really makes their draft make that much more sense. They shored up their line, guys. Dallas in a couple years, maybe even this coming up year, depending on how Tyler Booker unfolds, right? He's projected to be the best guard in this draft. They have the Tylers now. They have Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, and Tyler Booker. They have that Tyler line. So let's see how this is going to play out. But if that is the case, and these linemen, obviously Tyler Smith is already going to be an all pro the next season or two. He is phenomenal. Great replacement for Tyron Smith. Tyler Guyton, on the fence about, has his moments, led the league in holding penalties last year. So obviously got to cut that shit out. But this Tyler Booker trade, guys, Dak finally has a legitimate number two receiver to throw to. And let's be honest, George Pickens has the talent of a number one. He is a phenomenal talent on the field. He
He's
needs,
been the number one for Pittsburgh for the last 3 or 4 years.
yes, but he's not CeeDee Lamb.
He's not CeeDee Lamb, but the thing is, George is going to have to find a way to, in his own psyche, check his own ego because he wanted to be treated as a one. He was a one, but he had some serious issues on his way out of Pittsburgh, enough that Mike Tomlin, who usually doesn't call out his players publicly, called him out.
You know why I'm not worried about that this year? It's his contract season.
And there's something to be said about that. He's playing for a contract. I hear you there. I hear you
He
there.
is going to be he's going to be on his best behavior. He is going to want to put his best film out there imaginable because you're right. This may be a one and done year in Dallas for George Pickens, but that maybe I'm not saying it propels Dallas to a Super Bowl by any stretch,
It's
but
back in the wild card.
they're absolutely back in playoff contention. Like they had an A draft. They made a very good splash with this trade.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Dak needs to stay healthy. That's a huge component of this. Dak has to stay on the field. And with that shirt up offensive line, with the potential of landing another good running back, he has the potential to be able to do that. I'm really excited for what this season is going to bring for Dallas. And obviously, I'm sure you guys saw they're opening the season Thursday night at Philadelphia. So it's going to be on display.
That's awful for Dallas. It's just like salt in
Not
the wound. I mean, you're gonna watch in Philly as they unfurl their banner. I mean, if I'm not too much mistaken, it's not unheard of for the opening game to be a divisional game. That's not out of the realm of
I think it's happened a few
usual.
times.
Yeah, it's not like out of the realm of normality or anything of that nature. And let's be clear, we know why the NFL did it. It's the Cowboys. It's the Eagles who just won their Super Bowl, and they're like, what's the biggest game we could give the Eagles on opening night that's going to give us the most amount of money? Dallas.
If Brady was still playing it in Tampa, for example.
Possibly.
Potentially. I mean, Dallas as a franchise is bigger than Brady as a player.
So I'm just saying if you want to put a level of like, if not Dallas, then who kind of thing.
Yes, for sure. Now, they could have gone the route of Washington, because they played in the NFC Championship game. They could have gone that route.
Kansas City.
I think do they play at Philly or at Kansas City this year, though? I think it's at Kansas City, isn't it?
They play each other this year?
Yeah, it's at
Kansas City. They do. Yeah,
I was just saying they could have went with them for week 1. I mean, but yeah, Dallas is I mean, that's gonna be. I mean, because we've seen some big. I don't think we've seen that big a rivalry game on opening night before. To my knowledge, like real hate.
It's been a long while, at the very least.
I think the biggest one that would comparatively, I guess, would be on the NFL's 100th season opener when they did Green Bay and Chicago, where they where they didn't do the Super Bowl champion opening up the season because they shoved it aside for Green Bay, Chicago. I think that would be the biggest one that they've done since then, for sure. Because last year, obviously, Kansas City and Baltimore, they're rivals for sure, but they're not division rivals.
Right.
So, Justin, this is kind of what I want to talk to you about regarding this before, because I know you want to talk about baseball really quickly here, too. I want to talk about this as unbiasedly as we can and have a good dialogue about it.
Sure.
What acquisition do you feel is bigger, George Pickens to Dallas or Stephon Diggs to New England? I'll give you mine first, and I'll give you my reasons. So I think if you put it on paper right now, I think Stephon Diggs has had the more illustrious career so far, but he's obviously aging, coming off that injury. So I think for now you could make that case for Stephon Diggs, but I think by midway through the point of the season, I think that answer could easily become George Pickens.
It could go either way. I mean, in terms of which move moves the needle more, I'd say the Diggs trade, the Diggs signing, because that alone, plus the draft, plus everything that New England did, they're now back in the playoff conversation compared to Dallas, who's perennially been in the conversation barring injury.
Yeah. That makes sense because New England hasn't been, Dallas has been. And so it kind of puts Dallas back to where they should be, and it puts New England up a pedestal peg compared to where they were. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I agree that the Pickens study has the potential to be a bigger boost in the long run for Dallas because that can put them over the top at least, maybe.
Challenge Philly for the NFC East title?
It puts them definitely in a challenge position, for sure. New England is still a few miles away from challenging Buffalo in their division.
For sure, yeah.
They're maybe a year or so away, a couple moves or a year away, I would say, for them. But they're in the conversation of can they push Buffalo?
I think New England is now in the place where you could make the case that they probably should end the season split with Buffalo.
Yes, they should split the season series. They should. You can make the argument they could also split with Miami, but even then, Miami's kind of a bit of a flux right now.
I think it all depends for Miami. I think it's all dependent on when they play them. If
Yeah,
they
it
play,
always is. It always is. If they play Miami early on the season, then Miami's going to win because it's too damn hot.
or if they play them in December in Miami, they never win in December in Miami.
No,
Any other
they don't.
time, any other time, I think they could beat them. Especially
Mhm,
if Miami has to go to New England in December, done, over with.
mhm.
So I think if their games are kind of towards October to November, both of them, if they're both those games line up, I think they go either way.
Yeah.
A September game in Miami, yeah, Miami's probably going to win that one. December game in Miami, yeah, Miami's going to win that one. December game in New England, no question. New England's going to just ground and pound them into the ground.
Hmm. Most definitely. Um, Honestly, as much as the Dig signing has been talked about, I'm more intrigued to see what happens with their pickups of in the draft of Travion Henderson and Kyle Williams, and how specifically the Kyle Williams pickup pushes their second year receivers, Javon Baker and Jalen Poke, who were duds last year, if they push them. Honestly, I
I,
would be okay with if they cut them both. Baker's probably got a little bit more upside, realistically, in terms of how he played.
yeah, I think Jalen Polk's a dud all around. No shade or anything like that,
No,
but he's
he's
not
he's
an
he's a
NFL
second
receiver.
round bust. He's a second round bust for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I mean,
Oh,
it's
Ian, chime in on this, Ian, because you also picked up a hell of a receiver too in Devonte Adams.
yeah.
Ian, where would you rank these receiver gets for our teams from 1 to 3 between Diggs, Pickens, and Adams?
Now I made the argument like who moves the needle more for their respective team.
I mean they're both. I mean they could both be number ones right away. I mean, as in Diggs will be essentially the number one. I think first thing when you have guys that are that
Remember,
impactful.
we're including your pickup of Devontae Adams.
No, I got you.
Oh,
Adams, Pickens, and Diggs.
Dick.
I think the first thing you have to look at is age. Pickens is the youngest of the group. I'd say as of right now, I mean Diggs has been in and out of the lineup. I'd say Pickens number one. Especially because you're throwing them together with CeeDee Lamb. Like, come on.
Mhm.
Like you talk about a guy where they couldn't a team where they couldn't get a break in the receiving corps on CeeDee Lamb, and then now all of a sudden you have two number ones. Number two,
I think arguably Dallas has the best receiving core in the league now.
I'd have to say Diggs. Yeah, no, I'd say Dallas is number one in receiving core as well. I mean, nobody else has that. I'd say Diggs as number two. I like the Devontae Adams pickup, but we have a guy that's going to be our number one for years in Puka. You guys just got
100%. Yeah.
a number one for another 2, 3, maybe 4 years in Stephon Diggs. So, yeah, I think all the pickups are great. I mean, really, if you were to give me Diggs or if you were to give me Pickens, I'd be fine with them too. I think they're
I
all
say, I agree. Like, let's be clear. I don't think there's a direct wrong answer here. I think you can make a case
Mhm.
for all three of them. I
Mhm.
don't think there's one answer that you're out of bounds for saying.
Mhm.
heating up out here,
The thing
man.
that worries me with Diggs, the only thing that worries me with Diggs is going to be his health. Obviously, he's coming off that ACL.
Mhm.
He is an aging receiver, but I obviously just from a talent perspective is a phenomenal receiver, and I think he's going to do wonders for your offense. But of course, this is obviously season hasn't started yet. This is all based on paper and based on our projections. But if
Mhm.
Diggs can stay healthy, great pickup for you guys without question. Same thing with Devonte Adams because if when you're comparing pairing Devonte Adams receiver, like you said, like Puka Nakua, who seems to be getting better every single year, and just in a 2 year time frame, took Cooper Cup's number one spot, who was a triple crown winner, then I think the Rams are in serious business. And Ian, I'll tell you this right now, I think the Rams are winning the West this season.
I think we're gonna be the favorites in the West. I think we're winning the West. I
100%.
like I like I said, I like what we did in the draft to try to fix our holes at linebacker. We are bringing a little more depth at tight end with old boy from Oregon. And the Pacers, man, they were looking. Oh, what a block! They're back down by 8. Yeah, I like the Rams to win the West, man. I don't. Jared Verse. You got old boy
Beast.
from Ohio State coming in.
Beast.
Absolute beast.
Jared
Dude
Verse is a
is.
monster.
He's a man amongst boys. We finally get a first round pick, and look what
And
we
you hit
do.
on him, and you hit on it.
He has we have the coaching, we have the offensive talent. We're getting the defensive depth. Our defense, we showed up last year quite a few times. I
A
mean, we
hundred
have
percent.
Braden Fisk, Jared Verse, like
I mean,
they played college together, I believe. So I mean they have a pretty good chemistry, but I'm just optimistic toward next year. I don't see anybody in the West that's gonna fuck with us. I don't think the Niners
no.
are the same team. I don't think they're better coached than us. I think that we're way better. I think we're just head and shoulders better than the Niners. I think I mean, what would you guys say? Probably the Niners be outside of it. Maybe Seattle. I mean, who's their quarterback at the moment?
I mean, with Seattle, it's all going to depend
Darnold.
on how. Yeah, say if Sam Darnold has another year like last year, like he did with Minnesota, then fucking watch out for Seattle for sure. But they lost DK, they lost Tyler Lockett. Sure, they added Cooper Kupp and they got JSN, but that's a. I'm not saying they're in a rebuild because I think Seattle could easily slip into wild card spot. It's all going to be dependent on how Sam Darnold performs. And Ian, I agree so much with what you said. You guys absolutely nailed out of the park with the Jared Verse pick. He is a man amongst boys. I mean, he's not as good as Mike Parsons, but he is a phenomenal player. And so,
My
as
take,
long
Eric, did San Francisco finish last in the West this year?
What's Arizona really do? I mean, Arizona might make a little noise.
no, it's got to be Arizona. It's got to be Arizona.
Don't ever just doubt
I
Toddler
think so,
Murray.
but at the same time, San Francisco got gutted worse than the Oakland A's after the 2001 season.
Yeah, but Arizona, I don't. Ian, I
I
know
mean,
you love Kyler. I don't understand why, but he's not. I don't want to say he's not good because he is good, but that's the problem. He's good. That's it.
they don't have enough around him. They've got Marvin Harrison Jr., who is coming in his second year, and they have, I can never think of his name, the tight end, who's,
McBride.
thank you, but that's it.
McBride's really good.
He is great, but that's what they've got. And it's not enough, obviously.
Um,
But I mean, again, I'm not picking San Francisco to finish last like I made the pick last year, and I hit on that because San Francisco did take a step back.
you did not hit on Buffalo.
I did not hit on
No, he did
Buffalo.
not.
I
No, he
did
did not
not.
hit on Buffalo.
No, I did not. No, I did not. But I did hit on San Francisco. I did hit on
You
that one.
did. You did. Now, but
Um,
guys, this whole San Francisco conversation too is super dependent on the development and the consistency of Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy comes out and plays like the Brock Purdy of 2 seasons ago, San Fran could be right back in contender championship conversations. I mean, yeah, they lost Debo Samuel, sure, but they still have George Kittle, they still have Brandon Ayuk, they still have Christian McCaffrey. Like, let's not act like San Francisco has a bunch of
Christian,
duds on.
who? He
Christian
fucking
McCaffrey probably
washed
should
up.
retire.
Yeah.
He's
McCaffrey,
dynamic when he's healthy.
He'll be
You know
but
he's
he
productive
that.
at
hasn't been
best.
healthy, and that's half the problem.
I agree. No, health is a huge concern when it comes to Christian McCaffrey, for sure. But if San Francisco can stay fully intact this season and Purdy even reverts back to 90% of what he was back in 2023, they could be a problem.
I'm going to make a hot take. Mac Jones starts more than one game for San Francisco next year.
Because of injury or because of coaching decision? That matters. Because if it's injury, that's an obvious statement.
Coaching decision.
You know, from a talent perspective, Justin, I think Mac Jones might be better than Brock Purdy.
He is.
He might be, especially with the system that San Fran likes to run, they might be better off with Mac Jones.
I think it's gonna come to a point, like Justin was saying, it could be a coaching decision because they're gonna come to a point where they fucking suck right out of the gate, and they're gonna turn around and be like, "Well, you had a good season a couple years ago, but damn, we were fucking stacked, and you're Mr. Irrelevant. Like you were the last pick in the draft for a reason." I could definitely see all this shit turning around on Brock Purdy if they start out bad. If he shits the bed is the only
I mean,
way I can really see him getting pulled.
if they start the season 2-6, 2-8, then Mac Jones is going to be starting come week 10 or 11.
If I would do it sooner, wouldn't you?
I would. I'm just saying they're stubborn. The coaches are stubborn enough that and ownership groups are stubborn enough. You ride the hot hand that you've known for as long as possible before until it's too late. Or if
If
you
you're Kyle Shanahan, once you get to 2-5, don't you make that change? Because 2-5, your season's on the brink, but it's not over. 2-7, 2-8, 2-9, your season's done.
I'm looking.
Why?
I'll give you two numbers: 28-3. Kyle Shanahan. All they had to do was run the fucking ball the entire second half. That's all they had to do.
Yeah. No, you're not
Fucking
wrong. I agree with you there.
Indiana, bro. They have come all the way back. They are now winning
Again,
by one.
again. Oh my god.
They're ridiculous. But going back, I don't know, man. Brock
My
Purdy,
point. My
best of
point
luck
being,
to
I
him.
don't. The best of luck. That I hope he heals. Same with Jason J, like we were talking about before in part one. Um, but yeah, I think. I mean, I wasn't very big on Mac Jones even while he was here in New England.
No, trust me, we know.
I was like, shit his ass out of here, get him gone.
Trust me, we know you weren't rocking a Mac Jones jersey during Sunday football.
No, no, no. And my Ramondre Stevenson jersey is aging badly right now. But but I do want to shift gears and talk about a very
Just
monumental update in the world of baseball.
yes, man,
Oh yeah.
what an announcement today.
Rob
From
Manfred announces that Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, amongst others, but namely those two gentlemen, posthumously, are now removed from MLB's ban list and now are eligible to be entered into Cooperstown.
Pete Rose needs to be entered tomorrow.
So does Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Hot take on Shoeless Joe Jackson. I don't know that much about him as far as like his baseball statistics. I do know he threw the World Series and he got his team to throw the World Series too, but I do know why he did it. He should have been removed from the ban list years ago.
Joe Jackson actually played. I mean, this is also kind of mentioned in the movie Field of Dreams. Joe Jackson actually played in that game, but everyone else threw it for the most part. He was the one who gave the appearance that they weren't throwing the series.
I've seen 8 men out. I mean, Joe Jackson, I mean, just best my recollection, he wasn't the smartest fella. I mean, he's just a good ball player,
No,
and they duped him. But I think it was somebody else. I'm pretty sure was the only guy that actually gave effort. I think they did convince. I could be wrong, but I think they did convince him to throw the World Series. Hot take, me personally, yeah, put P Rose in. He bet on his own team. If he did throw, but if Shoeless Joe threw the World Series, man, it's hard for me to.
Joe Jackson, before he was banned, and even now, would have the fourth best batting average over the career in Major League Baseball history.
But that's the dead ball era. You can't compare that.
I know, but the numbers don't lie.
No, I'm not saying
He,
not the numbers at all, but I mean he threw Pete Rose bet on his own team. There's no evidence
yes,
that Pete Rose bet against his team. Joe Jackson threw the World Series.
no, and again, I'm not diminishing anything that Jackson did or the Black Sox did that year. Not diminishing that one iota, but they both absolutely deserve to be in Cooperstown as soon as humanly possible.
No, I agree. I agree. And here's the thing. Pete Rose is arguably the greatest baseball player of all time. Arguably.
Arguably, yeah, arguably, for
Still the
sure.
hits king.
I would lean towards Barry Bonds. I even without the steroids, I think Barry Bonds is easily a top 2, top 3 player of all time without question.
Mhm.
But Pete Rose is one of those generational type baseball players that if I were Rob Manfred tomorrow, I'm saying Pete Rose, you're in. No vote needed. You're in. Like it's an
Mhm.
embarrassment that you're not.
Right.
Embarrassment.
Yeah.
It,
Charlie
there's
Hustle, man.
there's nothing that
There's
you can say about
no
Pete Rose as a baseball player that is
from
negative.
from as a player perspective, no. No, there is absolutely not a damn thing that should keep him out of Cooperstown. Nothing.
Nothing. Not
He's
one
the
iota.
all-time hits leader for Christ's sakes. Like,
He's he's a different level of beast.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but before we that again, that's really what I wanted to touch on tonight about baseball. But I do want to throw a baseball stat that you guys may not have
Is
known.
it the baseball trivia? Is it the baseball trivia?
It's not a trivia, but it's more like a stat. Y'all know Madison Bumgarner.
Yes.
Madison Bumgarner hit more grand slams than Prince Fielder in his career, who hit more inside the park home runs than Ricky Henderson,
Fuck.
who stole home fewer times than Babe Ruth, who had just as many shutouts pitching as Pedro Martinez.
That is a hell of a stat,
more
Justin.
like a damn
Yep.
riddle. That shit's crazy. That's
That is a hell of a stat, buddy.
how many inside the park home runs does Prince Fielder have? Two?
He had two.
Henderson had one.
Yep.
That is so weird.
Yep. I came across that today. I had to share it.
Now, Ian, I know you have the question, so I think we should get into it because we know we're kind of on limited time here. We're on part two of our show already. Um, Before we get to the question, I'm going to say 102-97 tomorrow night, Boston.
97-89 Boston.
112-97 Boston. Blowout. And we got at 9 minutes. Um, so the question, what is the most exciting play in sports? For me, it's the
Oh,
kickoff
Ooh.
return.
no, fuck no, not
No,
now.
it's not. No, it's
Oh,
not.
well, I mean, yeah, fucking obviously. Okay, whatever. I guess we're talking present day. I mean, obviously a buzzer beater, a basketball buzzer beater. Like it's gotta be.
I think it's the penalty shot in hockey.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Triple play.
That's a good one, too.
For me,
The unassisted triple play specifically.
now what is that? I always hear about
Oh,
that. What is that?
it's
So
when
an
one player is
unassisted
solely
one
responsible for
player
getting all three outs.
exactly. Usually it's only second base or the shortstop who can get it. So effectively what ends up happening is you have runners at first and second.
Hmm.
There's double steal in play. It's a line out to short or second. The second baseman tags the runner going from first or second and tags him out on the fly and then taps the bag. Triple play.
Okay, because he catches it, boom, out number one. Boom, tags him out number two. Throws it to first, boom, out number three.
Doesn't throw it, just touches the bag. Doesn't
Hmm.
have to throw it. If you catch it, the base runners have to retreat back to their original bases.
Right, no, I get you, but damn, I guess I never, 'cause I always see about unassisted triple plays, right? I mean, because they have to tag up. So you're
Hmm.
saying if I'm the shortstop and I catch it, boom. So obviously the hitter's out, but you said it's on a double steal. So now this guy,
So
I
you
tag
you so
him because he's
you,
going to be
you
going back to second.
so you step on second and you tag the runner
Oh,
before he can get
coming
back to
back to
first.
because I'm obviously tagging second to get that guy.
You
Oh,
t-
okay, I got you. I'm tagging
you
second to
tag the
stop
runner
the
between
guy.
first and second.
Gotcha. I'm tagging second because the guy's going to be coming up tagging back to second, and the guy he's still going to be going tagging back to first. I'm tagging him out.
Yeah.
What's up, Kitty? The unassisted triple play, that's a good one. Penalty shot's a good one. Um, Field goal, like a deep field goal to win a game, like 55 yards, 56 yards.
a game like game winning field goal with nothing on the clock. Sure.
2 point conversion with no time left when you're down by one.
Oh,
Oh,
yep. That's always interesting.
reminds me of the
Yeah, I
Rhamondre
mean,
Stevenson Drake May connection against Tennessee last year.
there's always so many options when it comes to the most exciting play, like, a breakaway slam dunk too, especially
hmm
if it's like a Michael Jordan or Kobe or Giannis or Braun. Like,
LeBron's
there's
run back block.
yeah, LeBron's chase down, a game winning field goal from like 50 plus. There's
Mhm.
always so many different
A
options
Hail
for the
Mary
best
that
player.
somebody somehow, or no, robbing a
And
home run. That's up there for me.
robbing a
Oh,
home
robbing a
run.
home run, that's a really good answer too.
Torrey
Yeah.
Hunter, man, he was my favorite. He's
Couldn't rob
from
Big Poppy in the ALCS though, could he?
Oh,
he's from Arkansas. He's from
You know what I'm
Pine
talking
Bluff.
about, Justin.
I know.
The Grand
I,
Slam.
I called the pitch as soon as I knew Benoit was facing Ortiz. He hasn't ever hit home run off him. First pitch, change up, gone. Boom, gone.
Well, the
Big Poppy
Pacers are
used to
taking
hit some bomb.
control of this
Dude,
game.
this is some bullshit. I got the Cavaliers on a parlay. Throw it out, Jared Allen. Co- and the crazy thing is, man, I love about the playoffs. A lot of these calls, they are not calling. Like dudes are going to the basket, and they're calling when I don't think the officiating's been that bad. I mean, granted, we had the whole debacle in the Pistons game, but I mean, they've been letting them play, man, and that's across a good amount of the series I've seen. I mean, they could have called a hook there, they didn't. But come on,
There's been some
Clean.
questionable Wessel swallowing in the Celtics Knicks series on both sides.
Yeah, for the most part, what I've watched, they've been just letting them play physical. I haven't seen nothing too
It
egregious. Like I say,
Nothing as egregious as the Pistons series for sure.
No, no. The refs,
Pacers, bro.
the refs are like if the top 10 reasons why the Celtics are losing. The refs would be 10.
Yeah,
Like they barely make the list. There's a lot
yeah.
of reasons why the Celtics are losing this series right now.
I'm
Refs
not
are
blaming. I'm not blaming the refs. Not at all. Not one iota.
Cavaliers are
But
down by fucking 8. I'm listening, my bad.
um,
But yeah, it looks like this recording is about to end here, guys. I think this was a really, really good show. Part one and part two. I think we had a phenomenal job. It was great to be back.
yeah.
We'll see you week one, Philly. We're coming for you.
Don't forget to bring a tail.
Fuck Philly.
Is this Nicaragua?
Good night, mixed reactions. Celtics in 7.
I came from my bunghole.